I was looking at AbbVie, trying to be constructive, find some longs. I kind of like Lilly. They're just going to do so well with GLPs, it's hard to deny. Should put these side by side in different classes. Where's Omvo? Oh, I don't even have Omvo in here. Omvo's going to sell pretty well. This is the, damn it. It's the wrong model. It's not in the AbbVie model, it's not AbbVie's drug. Okay, I did have it in here. I think it's going to be a lot bigger than this. Okay, that's maybe a good start. I don't know, Iceman. I don't think so. I think those discount codes only work for 1 month anyway, so. And if you really need the discount code for 60 bucks, I mean, we all want to save 20 bucks here or there, but I think I'm giving you a lot of alpha, buddy. All right, buddy? Giving you a lot of fucking alpha right now. Talking to me about discount codes. We're trying to make millions of dollars right now, this second. Talking about discount codes. Playoffs? 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 Over time with compounding interest. I don't know if we see fives. We could. Maybe low sixes. Armageddon, let the light in. Big data. Honestly, you know, India's got a CEO, president that, you know, knows all those terms. He sounds like he does, at least. We need a president like that, you know? You know, we go along too. We got Tarsus. A lot of people made money in Tarsus, man. Uh, yeah, I was thinking of going up in size for MicroStrategy today. No, there's not going to be a good time to go long IonQ. You're Sharia compliant. I mean, you can go long pharma stocks. Like I said, Eli Lilly, man. You can go long. Oh, so you can't go long short stocks?
Mikey, your bet's a bet.
I know. It's just...
You lost. Now it's time to pay up.
I know, but to be completely honest, Andrew, I just don't know if I feel comfortable with...
No.
Andrew, listen, I'm sure that we can maybe come to some sort of other arrangement.
That's not how bets work.
Okay, bro, I hear you, but here's the thing. I don't want to pay up.
No running from this. You lost in fantasy football. I won in fantasy football. Now I gotta make out with your girlfriend. Okay.
If she consents.
What? Dude.
Thought it was worth saying. Just thought it was worth saying.
Okay, obviously if she consents. Why are you making it weird?
I wasn't trying to make it weird. I'm just saying if she consents.
You didn't have to make that clear because it's obvious.
I shouldn't have said anything. You knew that.
You made it weird now.
Okay.
Hey, baby. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, baby.
Hey, Claire.
What are you guys chatting about?
Pokemon?
Talking about bets.
Pokemon?
And paying up of bets.
That's cool.
Claire, a quick little cue. Do you think it's important to follow through on bets?
Sure.
All right, get the fuck out of here.
Mikey, why are you being so weird?
You know what? You guys got a lot to talk about, so I'm gonna go brush my teeth.
Well, it's too bad because you don't have a toothbrush here, so maybe just go home.
I brought one.
Well, you don't have toothpaste, though, so...
Well, Mikey, he can use our toothpaste if you want.
No, we can't use our toothpaste.
Okay.
Maybe just go home.
Oh, well. I brought that too.
What was that all about?
Nothing.
What's wrong?
Okay, where do I start? You know how I'm in that fantasy football league?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I lost last year.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I screwed up. I mean, I didn't think Tom Brady was going to really retire.
I'm sorry. I actually don't give a shit about the fantasy football league.
No, of course. Yeah, I don't expect you to. It's just that when you lose, there's a punishment.
Oh, no. Mikey, what do you have to do?
Well, let me actually start by saying last year Brendan lost, okay? And he had to name his firstborn son Vagina. So really, our punishment's not that bad.
Our punishment?
Did I say our?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I did say our, and I said that because I meant our, because technically the league punishment this year is that the winner gets to make out with the loser's girlfriend. Did you change your hair?
What?
Did you change your hair? You look fantastic.
Are you serious?
Sadly, yes, and that is why Andrew's here.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, babe. And I know that you can and will say no. It's just that I'm embarrassed that I even have to bring this up, and I hope you're not too mad at me. And...
No, I'm down.
What's that?
I'll kiss Andrew.
What? No.
Yeah, I'm down. If I have to kiss Andrew for you, I'll do it.
Oh, wait, babe. No, you don't,
Thank God Andrew won.
Sorry, what'd you just say?
Oh my God. No, I didn't mean it.
Why, thank God.
Like, in a weird way, I just mean, like, there are worse options it could have been. Like, could have been Brandon or, like, Ryan. That would have been awful. But it's Andrew, so it's less awful.
What does that mean? Like, do you...
So, you know, if I have to kiss Andrew for you, I'll do it.
Okay, well, thank you for being willing to do that. But, you know, actually, babe, I think there's a little miscommunication here.
How do you mean?
Technically, I'm not even supposed to be saying this, but, if you say no, like, just say the word no, the bet is off. And then he'll just leave.
Babe, it's fine. I'll just bail you out. I'll just make out with Andrew. Don't even worry about it.
No, but I don't think you're getting it, okay? And what I'm asking you to understand is that you can say no.
Say no?
And you don't have to do this thing that clearly you don't want to do.
Oh, okay.
Exactly, yeah, so we're saved.
Got it. Okay.
Crisis averted.
Cool. I'm gonna go get changed.
What?
Some lingerie or something.
What? Why? No.
He's the champion, Mikey. He's gonna need me in something sexier than this.
Okay. Anyway. What are the stock crits people saying? Man, the market's down like 2% and people are talking about fear. It's all fear and greed and emotions running rampant. All right, let's look at Rigetti. Never trust an Indian CEO. You're right. Google, Microsoft, IBM. These stocks are the worst. You clowns never learn. I feel like a boomer using a computer. Okay. Oh man, look at this. Look at this baggies. Look at this baggie right here. What is QNCCF? Quantum emotion? What the fuck? Where does this trade locally? Oh, on the venture. QNC on the venture exchange. Universities now switching to quantum computing away from the classics. Away from classic computing. You're right. It's over. x86 is done. Oh yeah, I want to look at the transmetic thing. Thanks, Franco. Copper future's still good? Thank God. Thank God. If copper wasn't holding up, it'd all be over. No, I don't want to be an alarmist or anything. Black-Scholes, environment for cognitive development. There's a formula called Black-Scholes. I think everybody should become familiar with Black-Scholes. So one way to do it is learning the options Greeks. So you can look at what the delta was of your option before the move. Yeah, I mean, it's a start. It's a start. No, there's no model that predicts option prices perfectly. I think Sana was interesting. I mean, I barely know anything about the company. I tried buying the stock. It went down right away, and I dumped it. Yeah, I like Lays as the short. So I'm just going to look at AbbVie real quick, and then we could take some requests. Yeah, I want to see the pharmacology of this thing, page 38. Okay. So this is just an IL-13 mAb. It's amazing how fast Hugh Meyer's revenue fell. Yeah, we'll get them eventually, Ariana. Haven't looked at Iova in a little while. I should refresh on it. Okay, so looking at AbbVie, $174. I think the first step to hedging is just looking at beta and single stock exposure. So if you have any one stock that's really going to swing your portfolio, you might consider hedging it. And then the same thing with beta or any other factor like country or sector or whatever. So we have too much sector exposure. You might consider hedging that, for example. I don't read too much philosophy. I certainly have. My father was a philosophy buff. That was his favorite. So I have thousands of philosophy books. I can't say I've read any of them. Nah, I wouldn't consider Jordan Peterson a philosopher. Yeah, I mean, Jensen, well, when you say post hoc, ergo propter hoc, what do you mean? These stocks were going to kind of crash anyway. Didn't really matter whether it was Jensen or me or anyone else, you know? I don't think Andrew Tate would make a great PM. But I mean, I do think you can assign the causality simply from the temporal reaction, but the market after hours had already sort of processed the Jensen stuff. And the next morning, the shit really hit the fan. So it's hard to say. Some people say it was me. But I've been pounding the table on quantum for a while. So. Now Zuck is piling on too. Yeah, I was looking at Taiwan Semi the other day. I do think the video I made was pretty funny. A lot of people like that. I think I did the Taiwan Semi privately. I don't really know these businesses that well. So sometimes when I look at a sector I don't know that well, one of the reasons I'm even doing it is to try to learn it so that I know it down the road. Yeah, I've been looking at retail stocks here and there. Restaurant stocks as well. Cannabis? Cannabis? I love shorting cannabis stocks. Cannabis stocks, shorting cannabis stocks got me through jail. I don't think you can move away your business that easily. They could diversify their business a little bit. I just woke up. A lot of traders wake up pretty early. It's a good question, Iceman. I mean, over time, I've spent so much time thinking about that, but I'm not very good at it. Sizing positions. And it's kind of one of my weaknesses. It's why I'm not a trader for a living. I'm an entrepreneur. But if I were to trade professionally or other people's money or something like that, I would be a lot more careful about how I enter and exit positions, especially with size. Entry and exit are a little different from size, but size, I mean, you should never have any position that's a lot bigger than 5 or 10%. And I think that people who do that are sort of have a crutch for the fact that they're bad stock pickers. Because if you are good at your job, you don't need to have one stock that you're long and you're praying will work. You can have 10, and 7 will work and 3 won't. You know what I mean? But if you suck at investing, you might go all in on one stock because you're like, oh, this is the one thing that's going to bail me out. And you're no different from a gambler sitting clutching a lottery ticket praying like a fool that your number will hit. But if you know what you're doing, you could have 10, 20, 30 stocks that you say, okay, this is my portfolio. And that's still very concentrated. There's 500 stocks in the S&P 500. That's a portfolio too. That portfolio has done really well. So you think you can beat the S&P 500 with one stock, you're just sort of stupid. But if you think you can beat it with 30 or 40 stocks, that's still pretty concentrated risk. Some people try to beat the S&P 500 with 400, 500 stocks. They also have teams of people to do the work. But the thing about investing is there's no crying in baseball. You can't say, oh, well, my portfolio sucks because I don't have the talent or team that I need to do my job correctly. Well, too bad. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. Ooh. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. It's like saying to the bear that eats you in the forest, that attacks you, that mauls you, hey, it's no fair, you got those big claws and the big teeth, and I'm just a human, I don't have those things, man, what the hell? And before it's finally snapping your neck, the bear says, I know, I'm a bear. Ow! Oh, we don't give a fuck about your problems. Get a good portfolio or go give me your money, one or the other. Yes, Ryan, why? I've been streaming since 2015. I just enjoy it. It gives me some visibility. So, it provides some opportunities for me. I don't think Rigetti will ever go to 100. Rigetti's just a shitty company, man. Best trait in a successful trader. Well, again, I have to tell you guys, even though I've taken my account from 100,000 to over 2 million in the last 3 or 4 months, that I'm actually not a great trader. I want to be clear about that. I know that sounds strange. Most people would like to have those kinds of results, but I think that the risk I took. No, Ryo, I don't think so. The risks I took in that account were so high. There was a time when I felt like I was going to have well, Quantum's only been up for about 2 months, so we called it at the time, and those stocks went on a huge run, and obviously they came back down. I'm not saying I'm not a good investor. I'll take the credit for that. But I think that a good trader limits their risk. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. But, it kind of reminds me of the Beatles. One of those, I think it was Lennon or McCartney said that, a great musician knows when to break the rules. Otherwise, if you stay in key every note, it's a boring song. It's when you go out of key for one note, that's what makes the song beautiful. I think that for trading, you generally never want to go out of key. Limit your risk, limit your risk, limit your risk. That's the general idea of trading, is always limit your risk, take stop losses. I don't do stop losses very well. I set up kind of some risk limits, but there are a lot of trades I put on where I say implicitly or explicitly ahead of time, I'm willing to lose it all. And a good trader does not do that. A good trader would never do that. And so I think that the P&L of a good trader looks kind of like this. It looks kind of like this. Okay, and the P&L of someone like me, at least lately, it sort of looked like this. And, obviously, which one would you rather be? At this moment in time, yeah, the green line's ahead of the black line. But at what point, at this point, you feel like killing yourself. At this point, you think you're God. I think the black line's a better line. I trade stocks. I do options too. Yeah, I think I'll take that, Wiz. Again, like, all these are really good trader questions, and like, if there's anything I'm really good at is fundamental analysis. I know people want to be great traders. There's no better thing than being a great trader. But the problem is the amount of people who are good traders are very, 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 very low. And there's a lot of LARPing going on. And I'm not going to LARP to you guys. The amount of people I can call a good trader that I know personally and I've worked with or work with now, it's like 2 or 3 people, man. It's not a lot of people. And even those people have self-doubts here and there and have cold runs. So, being an analyst is easier, but the problem with being an analyst is, a lot of people can do it. It's not that hard, and that's what I'm sort of showing you guys. But the person that has to execute the trades, that person has to have a lot of discipline, a lot of risk management. One of the lessons that I've learned over time about psychology, and I've said this before in these streams, is that smart people have a really hard time trading. Because very smart people, and I'll put myself in that category for a minute, a little moment of hubris, but if you're above average intelligence, let's put it that way, and this kind of scales, unfortunately, what ends up happening is you become, throughout life, you've been sort of, you've gotten used to this idea that you're always right and you're very smart, and that when you are here to solve problems that you get the right answer. And the problem with that is that the stock market's a very tough problem. And you'll come across a problem like IonQ, right? And you'll say, well, you'll say that, IonQ is a short, quantum's 30 years away at best. These machines don't work. I know a lot about quantum mechanics. I studied that as a kid. Like, I'm the shit. And you short the stock and the stock doubles. And you say, what the hell? I'm still right. I have to be right. And you keep shorting it. And the stock doubles again and again and again. And you lose all your money. And you're now working for a guy named Tony, who scratches his balls and smells like crap and went to community college. But Tony's a good trader because Tony knows how to take risks and size his positions correctly. So Tony from Long Island doesn't know anything about quantum mechanics. He can't spell quantum mechanics. So, hey, Mike. So the point is that the people who are humble, they tend to be pretty good at, and they have a special skill. Some people say they're born with it, to manage risk and manage capital. But the person who's intelligent, they want to take out their intelligence on the market. And anytime you feel like you're taking out an emotion on the market or any dynamic like that, that's the dangerous thing. And some people say you're supposed to stop doing that. Some people say you can't stop doing it, so you might as well listen to it and harness it and learn the feeling. You can't change your feelings that easily, your behavior. So I think that if you try to manifest your intelligence in the stock market, it's not going to go very well. If you try to listen to the rhythms of the stock market and understand what's happening, it might go a little bit better. But the second you start putting yourself into it as the observer, it's kind of an observer effect. Speaking of quantum mechanics, you end up having an issue with like just various biases. Probably the biggest one that I've been a victim of, and I see all the time in other people, is I am so smart. If you fade that too hard, you end up becoming a slave to the price action, which a lot of quote unquote good traders are. And that's kind of where I like to push back on the strong trader that is just sort of driven by price dynamics and money flow. Like, I think that in this example, I probably beat that trader P&L wise, but not risk wise. So on a risk adjusted basis, they probably still won. But for me, I was willing to say, no, fuck you guys. I'm shorting this to the end. I'm making a big fat bet. You traders are too pussy to do this. You're going to stop yourself out 6 times. You're going to find some other stock to trade. This is real alpha. These stocks are worth nothing. I'm ready to risk it all for this. And, who's right and who's wrong in this scenario is tough to say. The trader needs people like that for alpha. But it also may not mean that trader or that the person generating that alpha should be putting in the trades and should be kind of finding a risk manager. And yeah, the market's smarter than all of us individually. So the market knows this stuff. I think that, it's very hard to sort of bet against the market, say that you're smarter than the market. It's very hard. Somebody was asking, like, is it Jensen that knocked those stocks down? Those stocks would have gone down anyway. And it was just a matter of time. And timing this trade, it's very cliche to say timing is everything in trading, and it is. But the timing of that trade was very hard to predict. And that's why I like to be in these trades regardless of the price action, because something like that sort of tends to happen. If these stocks get so hot, why do you think that those stocks were mentioned at all to Jensen and to Zuckerberg? Because they were so hot. So they have this reflexive phenomenon where because they got hot, they imploded on themselves. And that happens a lot. They attracted attention. If they just slowly melted up kind of quietly over the last 2 years, that'd be different. But that's not what happened. They just went up went to the moon. So anyways. But yeah, I would not recommend my strategy of bet big. If you're wrong, bet bigger. Like, It's just a great way to go broke. That's about it. You will go broke at that rate. Like, there's no doubt about it. And some people will call that being a riskaholic. That's a serious thing. It's a serious thing. There's a lot of people out there who are riskaholics. They want more risk, more risk, more risk. And if you're battling riskaholicism, the best thing you could do is just stop trading at all. I mean, and I know somebody out there right now is listening to this and saying, I think I might be a riskaholic. And I know some of you are chuckling, but the reality is if it's your money and you've worked hard for it, there's a lot of doctors and other people like that want to trade the market. And they say, well, I've done so well in my career as a physician. Why shouldn't I make money in the markets too? Well, you're asking too much. Life, you got a good hand in life. You got the brains to become a doctor. You got the ability to do it through your family and your credentials and all this, through your, being born in America or whatever. Being an American doctor, you're in the top 0.1% of income earners. Now you want to make money in the stock market too? Come on, man. At some point, you're tempting fate. And most doctors are just terrible investors. That's the meme on Wall Street, is whenever your doctor or your dentist recommends a stock, it's time to short that stock. Now, my dentist was telling me about Fartcoin because my dentist checks out my tweets sometimes. And he thought it was funny because he has a buddy that's in crypto. Yeah, Jack, everybody has an uncle or some other person that's like the tell for their really bad stocks. No dentist of mine is going to be a bad investor. Just being my dentist makes you rich. But no, in all seriousness, I told my dentist to buy Eli Lilly. And that stocks are probably a bad investment for the next couple of years. Or at least unlikely to outperform very much. All right. Caught up everything on AbbVie numerically, at least. Maybe an error somewhere here. Let's see. 56, 204. Okay. Yeah, I don't really do bonds, but people who trade bonds can make a fortune. Just not for me. Bitcoin breaking 91K. Don't know much about insurance companies. Sorry, man. NovoCure is kind of a fake. The data is very fake. I don't believe it, personally. I don't know much about Carvana, to be honest. It's kind of hard to imagine it being a good long, but like I said, I don't know much about it. Goodell's doing great things. Novus doesn't have a drug. Novus is the fakest company. That reminds me, after this quantum craziness is done, I gotta short some Novus. I have to refresh my look at ABCL. I don't know. It's probably, I mean, it's just all these antibody companies, they're almost always like just great investments over time. Okay. So for AbbVie, Haven't looked at Butterfly Network. Somewhat suspicious. Okay. So AbbVie's sort of fairly valued. Lilly's somewhat cheap, but not really, sort of fairly valued as well. Yeah, I started reading the Transmedics. I didn't get time to finish it. That guy writes really long reports that it's not really always clear. I think he's a little verbose. Like I don't think you need 150 slides or 200 slides to get your point across. Yeah, I thought Breffman was great. Shoot. I had Ben and Mark Igniflow, so keep that in mind. JP Morgan's this week. Yep. Everyone's in San Francisco. What's up, Iqlal? Bitcoin below 91K. Lulu pre-announced. Consumer still strong. I want to follow Lululemon, man. It's a really interesting stock. So Cool Sculpting is in anybody try Cool Sculpting? I don't know how fast Bitcoin will go to 20K, but it could go to 70K. Was it 70K beforehand? I don't even know how it's so ridiculous. Cool Sculpting. How does it work? It's like some laser. Oh damn, I need this shit. Yo. Hey yo. The sad thing is, we're all gonna look like this at some point, at least women-wise. All women end up, this is where you're going, all right? Okay, so you wear this thing and it burns your fat off? Is that the idea? Obviously, only women care about this. This guy just shaved. I mean, this is a terrible before and after. Like, what? This is just a different angle. And breathing in will do this. Suck it in, suck it in. No, I don't want to be friends with Destiny. Guy's a fucking creepoid. I don't recognize it. Although I've met a lot of people, Liam. Rings a bell, I guess. I don't know. I've come across so many freaking people in my life. Bitcoin's really selling off here. I also don't always look at chat for what it's worth. I'd say if money is no issue, I would go with Ben Braffman for sure. Mark Agnifilo. Alex Spiro, who also worked for Ben. Mark and Alex worked for Ben. Don't be mean. Stop being mean to the other kitty. You little bum. No, she doesn't want to play. See, my cat Nibbles used to bother me. Now she bothers Trashy. Trashy's an old lady. Trashy's an old lady. Leave her alone. She's an old lady. She just wants to pounce this old lady. Why? Leave her alone. I do have my old cat back. Okay, so this is an oral peptide. Other people have this. You know, if AbbVie's buying it, it's probably going to be good. If it's immunology, AbbVie immunology is pretty elite. Yeah, Trashy's the OG. She's here under my desk.